have it as well.
I got it.
Okay. If you want to make Jared or I co-host, we could admit people for you.
Okay, I can do that. I did the screen share.
You might have to exit out of screen shared and do that, and then we could get started and admit people while you present.
There's a few people showing up. We'll wait just a few minutes.
Sounds great.
And I've shared co-host with both of you.
Yep, great. We'll take care of that.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, we'll get started. Thank you, everybody. Happy to see you all tonight, even if it is from a distance. We have some late arrivals, so I know that folks will continue coming in, but we're going to get started. We have a panel of amazing experts here tonight that have done an amazing job of putting together information to share with you all on from multiple areas. Our agenda is going to include connecting with teachers, some information on Google Classroom, securely, our filtering system, digital citizenship and safety, COVID safety measures in place at MASD, and Marion County metrics. So with that, we will get started. Welcome. Angie Traeger.
Hello. As I was looking at who is all here, I was like, the beauty of a small district, people have had my kids, I've had their kids, and I feel like I'm talking to parents and, coworkers. So it's just a wonderful thing. What I wanted to start off with was this quote by Rita Pearson, which is one of my favorite that I always follow. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. So what I'm going to be talking about is relationships with our students and the importance of it. Next slide, please. So a few things that I have talked with coworkers and gotten feedback from, and is really important to us, especially at a distance, is the fact of being present. That means trying our best to come to live classes. And then when you come to live classes, participating, not, kind of just sitting back, but being engaged and participating in the lessons. If you have those three things, it really helps students not only to learn, but to be, a part of a class, be a part with their teacher in whatever lesson it is. I know that we're doing these lessons through Zoom, and sometimes that can be challenging. I know that with challenges, we try different things. We do try to get students or encourage students to turn on their cameras, but I know that sometimes that's just not a possibility. So if they're not able to turn on cameras, especially, when there's many students in the household, parents working or what have you, we do try to ask that if students cannot turn their cameras on, that they do participate via chat or through different Zoom features. Like the participants, they can raise their hand. If teachers use polls, anything to let us know that the students are there, because as you can, see, if there's cameras that are off, we're kind of not sure how well students are understanding. But if they're at least able to give us some sort of feedback, it helps us know whether students are engaged, if they're present, and if they're participating. So that is helpful. Kind of a line that I've been using a lot this week is, we don't know what we don't know. So I encourage you to, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or positive feedback, please feel free to, I guess probably right now the best way is to email your child's teacher, make a phone call, go to office hours. Every teacher has office hours that they can meet with their teacher. They do not have to stay the whole time. They can jump around to different teachers to get help. Just know that we are there to help, and please reach out because we're not sure whether we're doing, a great job or not, or we just want to help. So please, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help. So thank you.
Thank you, Angie. McKenna Coons.
Awesome. You can go to the
Rachel
next
Albany.
slide. So Rachel and I are going to cover a little bit of an overview of Google Classroom and what that looks like from the student's view. And then we're going to teach you how to access Parent View, which is through our grade book. And through that, Rachel's going to walk you through how to track your students' grades, their attendance, and any missing assignments that they might have. So when your child logs into Google Classroom, this is what their dashboard should look like. And so you'll notice that each of their classes will have its own class tile. And the title of that class would be at the top of each of those tiles. And if you see in that middle square there, that's where you'll see any upcoming assignments for your student. So as a parent, when you're looking at the dashboard for your student, this would be a good place to kind of track what your student should be working on and what's going to be due soon so that they can keep up to date with all of their assignments. If at this point in the year, you should be added into majority of your classes already. But if you notice that your student is missing a class, it'd be good to reach out to their teacher, and their teacher can invite them via email into their Google Classroom. Next slide. And then once you click on a tile for one of your children's classes, I encourage you to navigate to what we call the classwork tab. And so you'll see it at the top middle of the page. On the classwork tab, you're going to find all of the assignments that the teacher has posted for that. I know some teachers are doing it by quarter, but for the school year pretty much. And most of those assignments are going to be divided by topic. And this is an easy place for students to find what they should be working on. And it's usually color coded by what your student has completed and what it has not. So right here, you'll notice that everything is blue, like all the little icons are blue. Once a student has finished and completed an assignment and turned it in, those would turn to gray. So it's really easy to navigate through this page and understand what your student has or has not completed yet and help them work to get caught up. And now Rachel is going to explain how to access Parent View through our gradebook, where to find it on our website, and what you can do through there.
So if you want to access your child's grades, you're going to log on to masd91.org. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see the grades icon. So you will just click on that. And then if you go to the next slide, it will prompt you for your username and password. You will get those from the main office of your child's school. And then on the left-hand side of your screen, if you have more than one student, you can toggle between students. You can also pick if you want to access grades or attendance or the class schedule. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see your students' grades. You want to go to the next slide. Once you click attendance on that PIV menu, it will give you the attendance summary for your student for the whole year for all of their courses. Next slide. If you choose to check their grades and then click on the attendance tab from there, you will see their attendance by course. Next tab, or next slide, sorry. And then if you want to set up email notifications, it will be back on that PIV menu under options and then profile.
And so for when we're setting up notifications, something parents should know, I guess, is that you can determine what's important to you, what you want to be told about your student. If you want an email every time your student does not attend a single period in a day, that's an option. If you want to know every time your student is missing an assignment, that's an option. You can get daily grade notifications. You can get weekly grade notifications. There's a lot of options on how to personalize that. So it's a great way to stay involved in what your student is doing in their classes without having to email their teacher directly. And I know all of our students really like to say that they're in their classes every single day and actively engaging with us. So this is a quick little way to get that daily notification if that is true or not, so that you can reach out to a teacher when needed and set up a different plan for our students that are not engaging with us.
Thank you, Rachel and McKenna. Okay, Annie.
It would probably help if I unmuted. So hello, everybody. So today I'm going to walk you through how to start a parent account on Seesaw for our elementary school students. So at the beginning of the year, I know the teachers sent out a text to all parents. So the text would look something like this, so it's on the screen, and it'll have a link on there. And once you open that link, you'll get the next message from the next slide. And depending on whether you have an Apple phone or an Android, you'd have to pick if you need to go to the App Store or the Google Play. And once you click on either one of those, I have an iPhone, so I clicked on the App Store. It'll bring you here. So it'll have you download the app onto your phone. And once it's done downloading, it'll have you create an account. And I had already created an account, but it'll have you put in your name, your last name, an email address, and create a password. And once you've done that, then you'll be able to log in to their account, and you'll be able to message your student's teacher, and you can send messages back and forth. You can also see what assignments they've turned in. You can see the comments left by the teacher on their assignments and any other maybe notifications that the teacher wants you to see. They'll be visible in this area. And that would be it.
Thank you, Annie. Mr. Scott May, our Technology Director.
Good evening. I'm mainly here to talk about Securely. What Securely is, it's our filtering software that we're using to keep our students safe. It also looks for flagged activities such as bullying, self-harm. That looks in their Google Drive as well as Gmail, and then we're notified of that. So we can head. We have, where are we? Troy, go ahead and go to the next slide. There. Securely Home is a tool that is available to parents, to all families, that allows you to increase the amount of monitoring that you can do. You can see their online activity if they're on one of our district devices, one of the Chromebooks. There's a lot of features in it that you can do. You can block specific sites if you wish. There are quite a few things that are blocked by default, and what we as a district choose to block trumps everything else. But it does give you that opportunity. You would sign up for it, and the apps are free apps. They're on the App Store as well as in Google Play. And on the next slide, oh, things got shifted around. Sorry about that. Let me go to mine so I can see the actual words. I think I know why too. So signing up for Securely is pretty easy. There is a link, which it was going to tell you with a big pull out. That big blue button that you see there, it's in the news and announcements section of the website. It takes you to the Securely page for us. There's a sign up link on there where you would go into a form, you'd fill out a little bit of information. You would provide your name, your email, your student's name and email. If you have multiple students, you can include each student's first name, and then each student's email is extremely helpful. And then once you're registered, I do an upload of the names, And within 5 business days, you will have an account created. Usually it's within a day or so, and you'll receive an email. So look for this big blue button on the news announcements of the district website, right on the main page below the slideshow pictures. Next slide. So once you're registered for Securely Home, you will receive a welcome to Securely email. The top part of the email will look like the picture on the left. And as you scroll down, it has all the instructions on how to get it started and to get it set up. It's really pretty straightforward. Once you have downloaded the app and you've made the connection, you will receive a second, an additional email asking you to verify your account. I would encourage you then to set a password. So you'll need to go onto their webpage to do that. And then the app is fully functional. And on the next screen, so this is what your window would look like when you open up the app and you're signed in. You can see their activity feed, not fee, I mean, it truncates it. Flagged activity, rules, and offline schedule. You can also pause the internet. Now, this is if your student is on a district-issued Chromebook. So that's really the nice thing, is pausing the internet is real time. So once you hit that pause button, they can't go anywhere else. The offline schedule is another really nice tool. In some of our filtering reports, I've been seeing some kids are on pretty late or early in the morning, depending on how you want to look at it. This would give you as a parent the opportunity to set a schedule to where, hey, we have dinner from 5 to 6, and you can set up a schedule to where their device, they can't go on the internet on their device from 5 to 6, or you can cut them off at 9 o'clock at night and not let it back on until 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever you wish. If there are other websites that your student is going to that maybe are not blocked by our filter for whatever reason, you can choose to block them yourself within this app, and that's would fall into the rules category. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Activity feed, if they're using their own device, you're not going to see much, because this is really watching the district issued devices. Let's see what's the final. For more information, if you click on that big blue button on the news and announcement, you'll see that there's a Securely facts page that you can go to. You can read up on different things about it. Securely has their own website, securely.com/home parent. It's a really nice tool to use. I would strongly encourage parents to utilize this resource. It's become rather popular in a lot of districts. I know my daughter in Salem-Keizer, if she wasn't a senior and I didn't know more about what she's doing, I would definitely be signing up for something like this, just to kind of see what's going on, kind of stay in the loop. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact the district and let us know, and we can answer them the best we can. We've tried to answer most of the questions on our Securely Info page. We have Securely Info English and Securely Info Spanish. So hope that is helpful, and please feel free to sign up whenever you wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Michelle Kearns, you are up.
All right, so I get to talk about digital citizenship. Specifically, we talk about that it's the responsible use of technology. One of the things we talk about with our students in Mount Angel is that we want them to be virtuous citizens. Well, part of that is being a good citizen online. Just as I teach my second graders that being a citizen means being a responsible part of the community, we're trying to teach them that being a digital citizen means being a responsible part of a digital community. Things such as being respectful to others are a part of this. Okay. So how we teach it. So one of the things that, as I was reaching out to all of the different buildings on what they think about this, most of them said, yes, the teachers, or we're going to go over the expected behavior at the beginning of the year. We talked a lot about it in our classes with our students. We review it as it's needed. all of the schools have electronics communication piece in their handbooks that we're supposed to be following. The middle school does teach digital citizenship during their advisory period, and the high school sent a handbook specifically on digital citizenship at the very beginning of the year that the kids were supposed to have read through and signed. So if you would like to know a little bit more about what this means, I wanted to show you, we do have a spot on our website that talks about specifically digital citizenship. So you would go to that Family Connect site that's on the district webpage. Go ahead and click the next slide. In the upper corner, you will see a drop-down menu, and you can click on digital citizenship from there. And then if you go down in the corner of it, there's a little white button that says digital learning behavior expectations. Those are those learning expectations that we would have for them. Go ahead and click on that. This is what it'll look like. It'll bring up a PDF. I know that's super small. That's why I would recommend going ahead and going on that. But it's things like being on time for your classes. It's turning your cameras on when you can, muting yourself, being respectful to other people in the chat, that you're keeping yourself on topic, and being kind to others, just as we would expect in the classroom. We are expecting that same behavior in our Zoom meetings. So all of those things are addressed in here, and I would recommend to anybody who has any questions to go and find that. I think I have one last slide. So one of the things that I wanted to just say is, you know, technology opens the door to the world. There's so much that we can find out there for the kids, but it's up to us to walk through it in a meaningful and a respectful way. It's really important that we are respectful in the way that we act when we're online. Just because we're behind a computer doesn't mean that we get to do things that we wouldn't do out in public.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, just a few safety measures. There's a lot of safety measures, and they're changing all the time with the governor's new release of information the last couple of days, and there was a whole new packet of information released by OHA and OSAA today, the governor's office. But just the very basics are so important for our community. We're all in this together. You know, Mount Angel's a small community. We're unfortunate to be in Marion County right now because of their data, but all we can do is take care of ourselves here in our small community and be very conscientious about our health and safety practices. Our goal is to get kids back in our buildings, and in order to do that, we all need to follow the safety and health, safe and healthy practices at all times. You know, whenever we get when we get into our facilities and our buildings, you know, it's very strict. It's going to be very strict about, you know, face coverings and distancing and healthy practices. But, you know, until we can get kids in the building, we're hoping that our community and our families are practicing that at home as well, because it needs to become a habit that is not going to be a huge transition when we are able to get them within our doors. And as always, and you're reading about in the news a lot, is that the actions of one individual can jeopardize the efforts of the whole team. So, you know, a cohort or a classroom or a building even, it only takes one person to be in that building that has been exposed or tested positive to, you know, force a quarantine for all who are in contact. We all know by now about the Marion County metrics, but they are the single determining factor that is going to help us get our kids back into our schools. We've updated the front page of our website to be a little more direct, and so more of a quick snapshot of where our district needs to be in order to get kids headed back to our buildings. And so we have here on the top, you have the state metrics, and then we have our county metrics. We're showing you the last week's report, and then this week's report, which is 11/28 is the latest report. And then the targets down below in yellow is when we can start bringing our K3 kids back in a hybrid model. And then the green is when we can get them all in there. So as you can see, just from last week to this week, we've gone up from 435.9 to 492.6. It's all over the news. We know that the measures that are being taken at the state level are for this very reason, because of these numbers increasing. And this is going to be the targets that we shoot for. I don't see any changes at the state level with using these current metrics. So we're watching them really close. We know that these numbers are going up fast, but in reality, we don't think they'll go down fast. So the higher they get, I believe the longer it's going to take for them to get back down into this yellow zone where we can start getting half of our kids in a building each day. The Benedictine, some resources during the holidays. Mission Benedict has some opportunities for families. I believe tomorrow's the last day for Christmas box sign up. As you can see here, and I believe this is on our website. There's a couple different ways to sign up, by phone or just calling in at the front desk. And then you can see that when the giveaways are, for the handouts, for the boxes, the information that's needed, and the dates that the actual Benedictine will be closed during the holidays. And then just a reminder about face coverings. Face coverings have been there from the start. They're getting to be even more and more important about the types of face coverings you use, how you wear them. We are requiring them to be worn at all time on all campuses. And that means even when you get out of your car and walk into a building, we really need folks to have the face coverings on when they get there. We have not closed our facilities. We still have folks that come and walk their dogs on our facilities and walk around the track. We're having some challenges with getting locals to wear their face coverings on our track when they're out there, but we're trying to enforce it. If we're not able to enforce it, we may be forced to close it, because there are so many people out at one time that just because it's outside doesn't mean that we don't require the face coverings when we're on campus. Obviously, the primary defense mode is self-monitoring. We also rely on our families to monitor children at home as well. And then, of course, distancing at all times. And we're trying to do our part there. We are hoping that families and community members are doing their part as well, because we truly want to get kids back in our buildings as soon as possible. So with that, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank the panel. All of you did an awesome job. We appreciate it. I don't see the chat button here, Erica or Jared. Are there any questions by any chance?
Right now the chat is empty, but we can allow some time for people to enter any questions in before we sign off.
Yeah, if you have a question, just enter it in the chat. We'll try to answer it for you if we can. Okay, I don't see anything. So with that, we'll assume that our presenters did an amazing job. Thank you all. This record has been recorded, and the slideshow will both be posted on our website, so you can refer back to it or refer anyone to it that was not able to join us tonight. So thank you all. Have a good evening.